Good New Year, everybody. In this video, I'm going to share a recent bid I got to do on a proposal for a job where we're going to use an AI-powered workflow to open an email, look for unread emails, then in those emails, look for attachments, and in those attachments, parse through the data, grab data, map it in a way that we can then combine it with an external system or integrate it to an external system, and then create a record in that external system. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Brett Wallace. I've started my AI automation agency about a year, a little less than a year ago, almost a year ago. And I've been getting some bids and jobs like this for the last 6 to 8 months. So in this tutorial, everything that you see is free or low cost. So if you want to try to follow along or copy it, that's kind of the way I've designed it and the choices I've made in the connectors. So we're going to switch to my screen here. We're going to use something called ServiceNow. If you haven't heard of it, look it up. You're going to want to create a ServiceNow PDI, Personal Developer Instance. And then you're going to want to sign up for a make.com account. That's what this screen is here. I'm sure people watching this video have heard of those two. They're huge. If not, I just gave you what you need to go look up. So again, the objective here is to have an AI-powered or AI-enabled workflow automation that reads unread emails, and then it looks for the attachment in the email, and it takes that attachment, and then we can map the data in such a way from AI. AI will extract that data and then map it to the external system. That external system is going to be ServiceNow. And so we're going to look at, first thing we need to do is when you log into your make.com account, you'll probably land somewhere like this. I made a little folder here called YouTube Tutorials 2026. Happy New Year, everybody. This is my first video of the year. Been a while since I recorded. So I highly recommend creating folders. It's so easy to get lost in the tons of scenarios you'll end up making. So we'll just go to create a new scenario. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to do watch emails. So I'm going to type in Gmail. And this is the trigger. So in a workflow, you probably already know, maybe you don't, but workflows usually start with triggers and have nodes. The trigger is what starts the workflow. So we're going to look for watch emails. Yep, watch emails. And now we're going to have to connect to the account that you want to watch emails for. So you just log in like you would as a user. Make sure you name it. This email account is Edward. Edward is a little agent account I have on my Google Workspace and domain. So we're going to sign in with Edward. That doesn't look good. Pretty print message not found. Well, let's try to log in again. Call it Edward. Sign with Google, maybe. Excellent. So this is the account we're going to use, Edward Teach. If you know who that is, kudos, let me know. And I'm going to put in Edward's password, which I had to reset before this because I can't remember passwords, especially when I have multiple accounts. So from here, when you get the login screen, you need to give it permission. This is what it's asking for access about. Just hit continue. And we're going to select what we give it permission to view, compose. This is the permission step. Continue. You're giving make.com, the workflow builder canvas here, access to that account. And so from here, we're going to do a simple filter. We're going to do in the folder. We're going to so there's multiple folders. We're going to do inbox. In inbox. Make sure I selected it. Yep. Label, no. Criteria, we're going to do only unread messages. And we're gonna limit to one. We don't want to grab any more emails than that. So mark it read after we've read it. Hit save. We'll just do from now on. This is asking when to start. We'll do from now on. So the next thing we're going to do is the get attachments node. So we're going to do Gmail. And we're going to look for, I think it's get attachments. Is it get attachments? List, I think it's, so it's list email attachments and media. Yep, here it is. Make sure you got the correct count. And the message ID. The message ID is going to be where you start mapping from the trigger. And that should come from the first node. And you should have something called message ID. Yeah, here it is. Message ID. Save. What that's doing is there's an ID assigned to the unread message or email. And then that trigger picks that up, passes it along to the next one. So we're gonna rename these as we're using them too. So when we rename them, I like to name these to when somebody lands on this workflow, they can easily say, oh, that's what that does. That's what's so great about Make compared to other workflow builders is the creation of the process is documenting it too. It's just how good and pretty these things look. So we'll call it unread email work orders. And that's what these are. These are work orders. So we're having an attachment or a work order. It's going to be a PDF, could be anything, but we're just going to show PDFs. And then we're going to rename this get attachments. Next, we're going to use some make.com magic. It's called extract. What is it? Extract text from a document. I can spell. Let's just try extract and work from there. I'm having a hard time searching for it. Here we go. Extract. Let's go to show more. Extract text from a document. Yeah, that's what we need. Okay. So extract text from a document. This is a really cool module. If you haven't used it yet, that's a lot, like half of the magic in this workflow sauce here. So it's already automatically connected to the previous nodes, the list email attachments right here. And I don't think we have to do anything to this one. No, it's just automatic. It's really good. So next what we're going to do is we're going to use OpenAI. This is the AI powered part of this workflow. So we're going to do generate a response. Generate a response. If you haven't set up an OpenAI connection and API keys, you're going to have to do that. Select your model. I'm just going to use this because that's what last one I used. It's 5.1. 5.2 is probably better. I don't know. And prompt type text. Yep. And so I have most of this ready. I'm just going to copy what I used before in the prompt. I'm going to have to clean it up a little bit at the bottom because the pills won't match up. So the email, we're going to do full body text. So I'll go over this a little bit more in a minute, but I'm going to grab the full body text from the first node. Should be in there somewhere. Right now I'm looking for the pill of the email body. Subject, date. full text body. Where is the body of the email? I think it's that right there, full text body. Yeah, I believe that's the body of the email. And then the attachment, we're gonna have to go to this. Magic sauce here is what I called it earlier, and the text of that. Okay. So what we're doing is we're fitting this, what that purple module there is, it's going to grab that data, and let's go ahead and rename that too. So we'll rename this to what it's doing. We're going to extract extract attachment content. Okay, so that's exactly what it's doing. And then here we're going to rename this too, because ultimately what the AI is doing is OpenAI is creating a JSON for us. If you can create JSONs from your data, unstructured data anyway, then you're like 3/4 of your way on a lot of these automations. So OpenAI, create a JSON. And then as you can see, I'll go over the prompt here a little bit. Zoom in. Take an email as input and extract data as JSON so it can be mapped as a workflow. When I create prompts, I like to give instructions one line at a time with these dashes. And then we tell it the AI that are in the prompt that the email may have attachment data. We give it instructions on how to create the various JSON key value pairs we want in the data. And we give it an example. And then at the bottom, we actually give it the full text body of the email and the text parsed out of the extract attachment content node here. And then we put that in OpenAI. And then that gives us a structured bit of data and a subset of the data that we care about. So I'm going to go ahead and call this YouTube tutorial 2026 1. This is the first video of this year. Tutorial is spelled horribly wrong. I'm not going to waste time fixing that. I'll fix that later. And what else we got to do? So we got the unread, got the attachment. We grabbed the text from the attachment. We sent it to OpenAI. Next step. Now this is going to be interesting. I'm going to test this live. So we're going to make this very powerful. You can type in ServiceNow. And it's got a module for it. Get, search, update, you know, all these kinds of things. And hopefully it lets me use it during the first run of the workflow attempt. If not, we will use the HTTP module. I don't want to do it, but we might have to. So we'll do create a record in ServiceNow. Now we have to connect to ServiceNow. And we're going to connect to my PDI, and that's what this is right here. This is my instance. Again, if you don't know what ServiceNow is, this is kind of like a Salesforce or any system. It's just ServiceNow is a big SaaS platform a lot of people have heard of, and it's free. Anybody can set one up and start working in it. So what we got to do now is create a user for make.com to come into the ServiceNow instance and create a record. So in ServiceNow, you have something called an all menu. You type in users. I'll just do it again. Go users. And then we'll go to users and groups and then users. From here, I'm going to create a user. Go to new. Let me show that again. Top right here. There's a new option. Click that. We'll call the user make dot automator. And then we'll just give it first and last name. Make automator. We don't need to worry about title and resetting passwords and all this kind of stuff. On the identity type, we'll just do machine. I like that drop down there. First time I've seen that. It's actually really good. ServiceNow does that. We don't need to give it an email or nothing like that. So we're gonna hit submit. And I should have stayed on the damn page where I created the account. All right, so I have to do name. Let's go find it again. Search for it. We do name. Contains make. Run that. There it is. Make automator. From here, we're going to give it roles. Those roles will be admin. Role is admin. Hopefully that works. There it is. Run that. No, I think we come here to edit. That's what we do. Then we type in admin. Yep. And this will just give it all the permissions, this account, all the permissions it will need to create an incident ticket, which is, we'll use incident tickets for this workflow example. So we gave it admin and ServiceNow, this little gray bar at the top here, you can right click and hit save. And I think that's all we need for the user account. Okay, so we'll come into here, create a connection. We're not doing OAuth. OAuth is a little bit more complicated and more secure way of authentication, but we'll do my ServiceNow connection subdomain. Yeah, so in the subdomain, ServiceNow instances. You look at all ServiceNow URLs. They have the subdomain right here. So we're going to take that subdomain, copy it, and that's what it's asking for here in the subdomain. I don't think I need the .servicenow.com, but we'll find out here in a second. And next we need the username and password we just created, the username and password. And the password, I actually don't know it. So we're going to set a password. There's a button for that in ServiceNow, set password. How easy. We'll just generate it. Feel free to steal all this you want. This is just a PDI. I don't care if you have my password or not. Go in and break all this stuff. It doesn't matter. All you elite hacks words out there. All right, so that should be, nope, that's the damn username it didn't copy over. Let's go find that password again. Copy, save. All right, save. Paste the password in there again. That looks right. That doesn't look like the user. And I think we set it up right. Let's see. Let's hit save. It looks like it's doing something. Cool. I don't know if this module will allow me to look up create records. So this is a ton of APIs in this module in Make. So ServiceNow has a ton of APIs. What we can do in here is select from the list table. We're going to type in incident. Incident. That's just a record type I chose. There are like a million gajillion different record types in ServiceNow. I just chose incident because I've been working with them a lot lately. And then once you type in incident, man, this thing returns everything. Like it gets all the fields. So these are actual fields in the incident record. So I'll go to ServiceNow and show you. So like, for example, this is signed to. Let's go to ServiceNow, and I've got the incidents table pulled up here again. Anytime you go into ServiceNow, you pull up the all menu, type in what you're looking for. In this case, we're looking at incidents. So just click on a record, any incident. And then in service, or in make, it says you got this field here assigned to. And look at that right there. All pre-configured. You don't have to mess with API calls and any of that. It's just so simple. Hopefully I can get this to work and not have to do an API call. So yeah, so this is kind of towards the end of the workflow. I'm going to do one more step after this, but you just start mapping your data to your fields. I got to remember what I want to do with all this. So I think what I have to do is I have to run this whole workflow up until the OpenAI point before I can get mappable, usable mappable data pieces. Yeah, I've got to run this. So I think what I'll do is I'll hit save. ServiceNow, that's fine. Yeah, so don't forget in make, you got to save your modules individually from the workflow. So you click on each one of these little modules, you save them, then you come down here and you save the whole workflow. And that's what I just did. Okay, so to recap, we're going to take an unread email. We're going to get the attachments. We're going to extract the data from the attachments. We're going to send that data extracted to OpenAI. It's going to parse out the data, and then we're going to map it to a ServiceNow record. Those are the steps we have so far. And we now need to run this once to get usable data. So what I'll do is we'll go to Edward's account, because that's the email we're ultimately using. Edward's right here. We'll go to Edward's email. Of course, I got to log back in because I reset the password. Edward teaches email. Mark all as read. That way, there's the way the workflow, it requires an unread email, and then we'll mark it as read. So we're going to use one email unread. All right, so Edward's got his email here. Split the screen. On the right is Edward's email. And on the left is the make scenario. What we need to do now is send Edward an email and have this run every minute for testing purposes, or maybe you would want to, your scenario is scheduled but not activate. Would you like to activate it? I don't want to activate it yet. So down here at the bottom, scheduling, how often you want it to run it. I'm doing it every minute. Maybe you want to do every hour, once a day. I'm just doing every minute. That way this runs quick. So this whole thing is now scheduled to run every minute. When I click this little toggle down here, that basically activates the workflow. That's what I was complaining about. And what we need to do is get an attachment, PDF attachment. So I'll send it from my email. We'll do that now. So on the left, Gmail, compose, we'll send it to Edward. Edward teach, subject, work. Here is the work order. Please review. And then I have a PDF on my desktop. This one. This is just a PDF. This is what we're going to be parsing through the attachment. This can be edited and changed to whatever. This is an actual PDF I used during a proposal during a job bid we did recently. So yeah, that's the work order, and we'll attach it. Go back to my desktop, look for that attachment, PDF, there it is. And then we'll send this to Edward Teach. Now, before I hit send, I'm going to back to the workflow, turn this on, and save. So now it is complaining bad requests. We'll see if we can get past that. That bad request is ServiceNow is a big, large enterprise app. It's used by huge corporations and things like that. So that makes trying to, I guess, secure it or make it harder to use. You end up having to talk to somebody, but we're gonna try to use it. So if not, we'll have to switch to a API request. All right, so this is running now. I got the attachment. So again, we're going to send from my email on the left here to Edward's on the right. So we're going to send it. Should arrive in Edward's email here on the right. Hopefully. That'll be nice. There it is. I just sent it. It's showing unread. And let's go back to the workflow, see if it runs. I might just hit run once instead of letting the schedule pick it up. Let's see what happens. Okay, this is unfortunate. I might have to get rid of that ServiceNow module. They've got it behind a person. You're gonna have to talk to somebody to do it. Let's see if I can hit run. Nope. Your snare contains a premium tier 3 app. Okay, that's simple. To get around that, we'll just unlink it for now. Leave it above it. I'm gonna open a new tab and use an HTTP request. Let's duplicate the make tab. We'll go to some other scenario and we'll go to some other module and we'll right click and we'll copy module. You can actually right click and make. It's pretty cool. So I just basically right clicked this module and copied it. And then we'll go back to scenarios, YouTube tutorials, this YouTube tutorial, close that, leave, unlink the premium module and just replace it with a HTTP request. Basically, we're going to do the same thing. Come in this request and just change everything out about it. We're going to have to write this from scratch. It's really unfortunate. Okay. So we're going to take our API endpoint. And the information you get on how to create these API endpoints, I can show that in a minute too. ServiceNow is really good at documenting their APIs. They're documented very well. So we're going to do dot. Yes, and that documentation is where I got this URL I'm typing now. Yep, that looks it. So we're going to go to the incident table in my personal developer instance. We're going to hit post. We're going to use the post method to create a record in the incident table instead of using the premium module. query strings. We're going to add parameters. We're going to type in sysparam fields. And basically what this is saying is, what do you want the API call to return when you use it? So that's what that's doing. In the body type, raw JSON. In the request content, here's where the magic happens. I have this from another. We're gonna have to go back in, delete all these bad values in here because I pasted from somewhere else. I'll explain these. Yeah, okay, so what we're gonna do now is delete this comma, this quote. I think this quote got in there. Gotta be careful in copying some of these things back and forth. They tend to bring like bad quotes and things like that. So I'm just gonna clean these up really quick. And this is JSON. With JSON, you gotta have key value pairs, and they both have to have quotes, right? So your key has open and close quotes, and your value has open close quotes. And the key value pairs is just your fields. So you got your field name on the left and your field value on the right. That's all that is. They look like they're good. Yeah. I think that's right. I'm a little concerned about this last one. View office location. I can't remember what I did there. That's okay. We'll get it sorted. All right, so we're just going to save this because, again, parse response. This is important. Automatically create the JSON, and we're going to need that. And let's see, what else do we need to connect to ServiceNow? I think we're missing the authentication somewhere. Advanced settings. Yeah, username and password. Here's what we need. So we're going to go back to ServiceNow because that's what we're connecting to. User ID is this. And password is generated every time because I can't remember these things. That password will get reset 1,000 times. There's the password. Feel free to steal that. It doesn't matter. You'll have access to nothing of value. Go ahead and try it. These other settings do I need to change? Reject connections that are unverified? No. This is talking about certificate security. Follow redirects? Yes. Follow all the redirects? No. I don't think you need to mess with any of these other things. Disable? No. Request compress? Yes. Yeah, so you can leave all of this, all these other settings the same, or the default values. And I think that's it. So we're going to hit save. Yeah. That looks like everything. We're going to save. And then save. Remember, save your module, save your overall scenario. So, save this. Come down here. Save that Other than that, I think we're good here. Still waiting to grab this unread email. And we're going to turn this on. And we're going to hit save. I might have to delete this module up here, even though it's not actually used. Let's hit run. It's still complaining. Yeah, okay, well, we're just gonna delete it now. It's unfortunate they put it behind difficulty, make it so difficult. All right, turn it on. Save, run once. Hopefully we don't get a million errors. Okay, now that HTTP request, I didn't expect that to work the first time, but that's fine. The big thing I wanted to see was if we got data, and it looks like we did. That's good. So let's go see if we have mappable data. So when we do down here in the request body, we have some data here. This data is, it looks like it's all mashed up into one result. Yeah, it is. So we're gonna have to figure out how to break this up. So that's a module setting. So we're gonna have to run this again. We're gonna look at what a setting we missed here. And that setting is specifically make sure that this always outputs JSON and not just one big blob of text. We're probably going to click on the advanced settings and check all these. Type, I think that's it. Yeah, output format type. This is where the magic happens. JSON object, save, save. So what we just did here is when we go to use that previous node to this API request, we got this big long result and this just giant blob of text. You can't really map data to that and make easily or at all, I don't think. And so it's unusable. So we just made sure we went back into here and we made sure that this node outputs JSON objects here. So we're going to save that. And then make now has like append history. That's cool. So this is kind of new as of late last year. You can use previous data. And we're going to run once. We're still going to get errors at the end, but that's okay. We're using that previous data. The good news is over here, the workflow did mark the email as unread, or as read. It was unread, now it's read. So, okay, and now we're going to do this. Back to this API requests. Short description. All right, so yeah, so that output fixed it. So now over here we have bundles of data we can map into our API request into ServiceNow. We're going to map to the short description field. We use service description. Correlation ID. Let me go make sure that's a real field, a real field in the incident. We got short description, that's good. We got description. I don't really see that field. So maybe we'll just do short description and description. In ServiceNow, you can right click on the fields and get all these different options. Labels are different than the actual field names. The actual field name is description. So we'll just use description. Okay, there's description. I'm going to get rid of correlation ID. And then we're going to use description. What do we want to put in this description? We'll do service address. And let's see if we can go into ServiceNow and change these field labels. So description will be service address. Configure label. And we'll call it service edits. And we're going to save. We just changed the display label. That way it's easier to see it when we map it later. Okay, well, we're no longer looking at incidents. It dropped it. All right, so let's go back to incidents to make sure our label's stuck. You don't want to go to self-service. That's like a different view of the records. There's multiple ways to view records in ServiceNow. Incidents. All. Here we go. I think I'm still in the other view. No, here it is. So good. Service address is now, the label's changed. And let's make sure we're right-clicking. Yeah, so the label service address, but the field name is description. Okay. In the API call, you have to have the actual field name description. And then short description, we'll do, we'll just leave it that. We'll just change that one field. We don't want this to drag out too much. And then office location. So we need to find a field in the incident records for this. And let's just get rid of it. Let's only map 2 fields. It's just, we don't want this to drag out too long. So I'm gonna back this off. Get rid of that last comma, because in JSON you can't have the last item as a comma. Comma separates JSON items. You don't want multiple JSON items. So we got short description, and that'll come out of the PDF. This will all make more sense once I run it the first time, I promise. So, and feel free to steal that password. Doesn't matter. I think that's it. We're going to save it. Save. And we're going to run it. Existing data. Probably have to troubleshoot that API call. Those things are, they don't always work. Well, maybe it did. Okay, I didn't get an error. I got a 201 code. Not a 200, so that means I don't know if it created it. Maybe it did. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take this incident ticket here, copy that, then go back into our ServiceNow instance, go into global search, type in the incident ticket. There it is. Found the exact match. There we go. Cool. Now we'll open the email. Here's the attachment. In the short description, it says we in ServiceNow here, we believe the roof is leaking, snow is melting down, yada yada. So then over here in the attachment, We believe the roof is leaking snow. It's the same description, talking about puddle, and the service address. Service address was that, and it's probably somewhere near. Yep, here we go, right there, location there. So yeah, that is a workflow on how to have an automation monitor an email box. Okay. Once the unread email comes in, grab any attachments, take those attachments, run them through this workflow, and then parse out the data that we care about, and map it to fields that we care about in some external system, that external system being ServiceNow in my PDI, personal developer instance. And then we map it to these incident records here. It could be any kind of record type, but I just chose incidents. And then this record was created in the incident table. From here, you could add a couple more steps maybe. I'm not going to do that on this workflow, but maybe at the last step, you go to Gmail, and then in either Edward's email or maybe the email I sent it from, Brett's email, my email, Brett, map the response from the API call with this data, take the incident ticket number, then put an email response, short description, and maybe a link. I think once you create a record in ServiceNow, you get a link to the record itself, and you could do that as a last step. So yeah, so this was a proposal I got to do recently in a job I bid on, and in my efforts to secure and gain more work, I am doing the build in public approach, where I am not just talking about what I'm doing, I'm showing what I'm doing as I'm learning and building and creating. And that's what I've done here, and hopefully this will get somebody interested and want to work with me and generate some more work for myself. Again, my name is Brett Wallace. Started Agents Discovery, where I do AI and automations like this, or maybe just automations without AI. But this is just one type of automation. There's tons of workflow builders. There's AI phone agent builders. That's where I started, is AI phone agents. So if you're interested in working with me, or maybe you just want me to teach your team how to use some of this stuff, I've done that too. But if you're interested in working with me, or think this would provide value, I'd love to work with some more people. And you can reach me, Brett, that's Brett at agentsdiscovery.com. Or you go to my website, I'll pull it up here, go back to my whole screen. Just go to agentsdiscovery.com. Site's up all the time, right there. It's agentsdiscovery.com. And you can just come down here, that's my lovely face, and you can book my calendar and we can talk. So again, thanks for watching, and Happy New Year, everybody.